Captain Alex Mercer observed the vastness of space through the window of the reconnaissance ship, Resolute. The mission was simple: explore new territories and identify potential threats. However, Alex always expected the unexpected. The galaxy dominated by the Tisa was a dangerous place, and he knew humanity's survival depended on staying one step ahead. Navigation adjusted to the Theta 9 system, announced Lieutenant Sarah Blake, interrupting Alex's thoughts. We will arrive in 10 minutes, sir. Alex nodded, adjusting his uniform. Keep the sensors active. We need detailed information as soon as we arrive. As the ship emerged from hyperspace, a green and blue planet appeared before them. It seemed untouched, a rare glimpse of serenity in a galaxy at war. But Alex knew appearances could be deceiving. Detecting life forms, reported Sarah, her fingers flying over the controls. It appears to be a colony. Let's investigate, decided Alex. Reconnaissance team, prepare yourselves. The ship landed smoothly in a clearing. Alex and his team, armed and vigilant, advanced through the dense forest. The distant song of alien creatures echoed around, creating a sense of mystery. After a few minutes of walking, they spotted rudimentary buildings made of local materials. The colony was small but well organized. Suddenly, a group of slender figures appeared, armed with spears and improvised weapons. They were the Chirons, blue-skinned aliens with bright eyes. The tension was palpable. We are friends, said Alex, raising his hands in a sign of peace. We come in peace. The Chirons exchanged cautious looks. A taller and more imposing figure, evidently the leader, stepped forward. I am Lyra, she said, her voice laden with distrust. What do you want here? Alex quickly explained their mission and the desire to find allies against the Tisa. Lyra, though suspicious, perceived the sincerity in his words. The Chirons, despite being enslaved by the Tisa, had maintained a strong sense of identity and a desire for freedom. Why should we trust you? Asked Lyra, her eyes fixed on Alex's. Because we have a common enemy, Alex replied. And together, we might have a chance to defeat them. Lyra pondered for a moment before gesturing for her guards to lower their weapons. Let us discuss this in our meeting hall, she said, though caution did not leave her gaze. As they headed to the center of the colony, Alex observed the resilience of the Chirons. They had suffered, but had not lost hope. This inspired him and made him believe that an alliance was possible. Inside the hall, negotiations began. Lyra and Alex discussed the capabilities of their respective species, seeking common ground. Initial distrust began to give way to mutual understanding. Both knew that this alliance was a risky bet, but it was also the best hope they had against the Tisa. After hours of discussions, Lyra finally agreed to consider the alliance. We will need proof that you are trustworthy, she said. Alex nodded. You will have it. We will prove that we can be allies. With that, the first step towards an unlikely alliance was taken. Alex knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but he was also confident that, with allies like the Chirons, humanity had a real chance to defeat the Tisa. Alex returned to the Resolute with a mix of hope and caution. The initial contact with the Chirons had been promising, but there was still much to be done to solidify the alliance. He knew they needed to prove their worth in battle, but it was also essential to understand their new allies better. The next day, Lyra and some Chiron leaders were invited aboard the Resolute. As they walked through the ship's metallic corridors, the Chirons observed with curiosity and caution. They had never seen human technology up close and, despite their distrust, were impressed. Welcome to the Resolute, said Alex, trying to appear welcoming. We want to show how we can work together. Lyra nodded, her bright eyes analyzing every detail around her. We are curious to see what you have to offer. In the meeting room, Alex presented a demonstration of human military capabilities. Videos of past battles, advanced weapons, and guerrilla tactics were shown. The Chirons watched attentively, exchanging looks and whispers. You are formidable, admitted Lyra. But we need more than just brute force. We need strategy and trust. I agree, said Alex. And that's why we want to learn more about your camouflage and stealth skills. Together, we can form a force the TISA cannot predict. To demonstrate their own capabilities, Lyra took Alex and his team to a training area in the Chiron colony. There, the humans witnessed the Chirons moving almost invisibly among the trees, disappearing and reappearing with impressive precision. The Chiron's stealth skills were unparalleled, and Alex knew that this combination of strength and subtlety could be lethal. After the demonstration, both groups gathered again to discuss specific plans. We need to start with a coordinated attack on a TISA outpost, suggested Alex. Something that shows our strength and gives us a strategic advantage. Lyra agreed. We know of an outpost not far from here. If we can take that place, it will be a significant blow to them. Preparations began immediately. Humans and Chirons worked side by side, sharing knowledge and resources. Cultural barriers began to dissipate as mutual trust grew. Alex and Lyra, in particular, developed a deep respect for each other. On the eve of the attack, Alex met with Lyra at an observation point over the colony. The sky was starry, and a pale moon cast a soft light over the forest below. If this works, it could be the start of something big, he said, his voice low but full of determination. Lyra looked at him, the determination clear in her eyes. We have suffered enough. It's time to turn the tide. The next day, under the pale light of a distant sun, the unlikely alliance between humans and Chirons was ready for its first test. Both knew that the success of this mission could define the future of the entire galaxy. The morning sun barely penetrated the thick vegetation as the combined team of humans and Chirons positioned themselves around the TISA outpost. Alex, dressed in his tactical armor, examined the terrain through high-precision binoculars. Beside him, Lyra was almost invisible, using her natural camouflage. All set, whispered Alex, adjusting the communicator in his helmet. Lyra nodded. Our infiltrators are in position. Once you give the signal, we begin. Alex gestured to his team. Remember, we need precision. A direct attack could compromise everything. Follow the plan. The first phase of the attack began with the Chirons sneaking through the dense vegetation, practically imperceptible to the TISA sensors. They silently deactivated the external defenses, clearing the way for the humans to advance. Alex led his team, moving quickly through the shadows, their weapons ready for action. Inside the outpost, the TISA, confident in their security, were unprepared for the onslaught. When the Chirons deactivated the last security barrier, the humans sprang into action, efficiently neutralizing the TISA guards. Let's go, we need to reach the command center, ordered Alex, pointing to a structure at the heart of the outpost. Lyra led the way, her stealth skills making her practically a ghost. As they advanced, they encountered little resistance, a testament to the effectiveness of their initial approach. In the command center, Alex and Lyra faced a group of TISA trying to regain control of the defenses. Now, shouted Alex, and humans and Chirons attacked in unison. The battle was swift and decisive. With the TISA incapacitated, Alex accessed the main control panel, downloading all the strategic information they could use. Lyra monitored the corridors, ensuring there were no surprises. We have what we need, said Alex, entering the last command into the terminal. Let's get out of here before they call for reinforcements. The retreat was as meticulous as the invasion. Within minutes, they were back in the safety of the forest, with the TISA outpost in ruins. The mission's success was a significant morale boost for the Alliance. Back at the Chiron colony, the celebration was restrained but heartfelt. There was an air of renewed hope. Alex and Lyra met with their respective councils to discuss the next steps. This is just the beginning, said Alex, his gaze determined. We've proven we can work together. Now, we need to keep pressing. Lyra agreed. The TISA are vulnerable. Each victory for us is a significant defeat for them. We must capitalize on this momentum. The alliance was strengthened. The trust between humans and Chirons grew, and with each successful mission, the possibility of a future without Tisa oppression became more real. The growing trust between humans and Chirans led to an even bolder plan. Alex and Lyra decided it was time to obtain vital information about the Tisa directly from one of their most fortified bases. The espionage mission would be critical to planning future attacks. In the improvised command center of the Chiron colony, Lyra reviewed the mission details with Alex. "We have a unique opportunity," she said. "One of the main Tisa operations bases is a few systems away. If we can infiltrate and collect data, we can turn the tide in our favor." Alex agreed, evaluating the holographic map before them. "We need a small, highly skilled group. You lead the infiltration, Lyra. Your knowledge and skills are essential." Lyra nodded. "I'll select the best Chiron infiltrators. We need surgical precision." In the darkness of space, the infiltration team approached the Tisa base aboard a cloaked ship. The intensive training of the Chirans and human stealth technology allowed them to go unnoticed. Lyra led the team, her keen senses picking up any suspicious movement. The ship landed softly on a deactivated cargo platform. "We're in," whispered Lyra through the communicator. "Stay calm and follow the plan." Moving like shadows, the team advanced through the dark corridors of the Tisa base. The Chirans, masters of stealth, disabled cameras and sensors with skill. Alex, monitoring from afar, felt a mix of anxiety and hope. The primary objective was the central control room, where the most valuable data was stored. After a series of silent maneuvers and security deactivations, Lyra and her team reached their destination. "I'll access the data," said Lyra, connecting a human device to the main terminal. "We need information on Tisa's mind control technology and their strategic positions." As the data was being downloaded, a silent alarm went off. "We have company," warned one of the Chiron infiltrators. "We need to get out of here, now." Lyra acted quickly, finalizing the download. "Retreat in formation. We need to leave before they surround us." The retreat was chaotic. The Tisa, alerted to the intruder's presence, began mobilizing their forces. The Chirans fought to maintain the advantage of stealth, but the base was rapidly closing in around them. "We're almost at the ship," shouted Lyra, as an energy shot passed by. "Hold on." Finally, they reached the cloaked ship. "Immediate takeoff," ordered Lyra, and the ship shot into space, narrowly escaping the Tisa defenses. Back at the colony, Alex and Lyra reviewed the data. The discovery was shocking. The Tisa were developing an even more advanced mind control technology aimed at overcoming human resistance. "This changes everything," said Alex, his expression grim. "We need a counter-strategy immediately." Lyra agreed. "We must use this information to develop a defense. And perhaps, just maybe, we can turn this technology against them." The espionage mission, despite its risks, was a success. The Alliance now had a real chance to combat the Tisa more effectively, armed with crucial knowledge. The war was far from over, but with each victory, the hope for freedom became more tangible. The information obtained in the espionage mission brought a mix of hope and apprehension. Knowing that the Tisa were advancing their mind control technologies, Alex and Lyra knew they needed to act quickly. However, the Tisa were not idle. A few days after the mission, the Chiron colony detected unusual movements nearby. "We have detected a significant increase in Tisa activity," warned Sarah, analyzing the sensors. "They are mobilizing." Alex frowned. "They know we're preparing for something big. We have to prepare for a counterattack." The sky over the colony began to fill with enemy ships. The sound of sirens echoed through the base, and all combatants took their positions. The Tisa launched a massive attack, seeking to eliminate the threat the Alliance represented. "Everyone to combat positions," ordered Alex, as he and Lyra rushed to the front line. The combined defenses of the humans and Chirans were put to the test. The Tisa ships fired incessantly, trying to break the colony's defense line. The Chirans used their stealth abilities to ambush the invaders, while the humans maintained constant fire with their advanced weapons. "We're being pressured," shouted Lyra, taking down a Tisa soldier with a precise move. "We need to retreat to the second line of defense." Alex nodded, giving orders for a strategic retreat. "Everyone, fall back. Reorganize at position 2. The battle intensified as the Tisa advanced. The entire colony seemed like a battlefield, with explosions lighting up the night sky. Alex and Lyra fought side by side, their combined forces showing fierce resistance. "We can't let them take the base," said Alex, breathing heavily. "If they get their hands on it, we're done." Lyra nodded, her face dirty with soot but determined. "We need to counterattack and push them back." Gathering their forces, the Alliance launched a desperate counterattack. Using the espionage information on Tisa tactics, they managed to exploit weak points in the enemy formations. The battle was fierce and relentless, but slowly, the Tisa began to retreat. Finally, after hours of intense combat, the Tisa completely retreated. The battlefield was covered with debris and bodies, but the colony had held. Alex looked around, seeing the exhaustion and determination on his allies' faces. "We did it," he said, more to himself than to others. "But this is just the beginning." Lyra placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. "We proved we can resist. Now, we need to use this victory to strengthen our position and prepare for the next step." The Alliance emerged victorious, but the price was high. Many had fallen, and the survivors were wounded and exhausted. However, the battle reinforced the determination of both sides. The resistance was stronger than ever, and the victory over the Tisa seemed more attainable. The Chiron colony was in a constant state of alert. The recent victory over the Tisa brought hope, but also the certainty that a larger offensive was coming. Alex and Lyra knew that time was of the essence. They needed to prepare for the final confrontation that would decide the galaxy's fate. In the command center, Alex, Lyra, and their top advisors reviewed the information collected in the espionage mission. Dr. Elena Vasquez, the human scientist, was busy analyzing the data on the Tisa's mind control technology. "I discovered something interesting," said Elena, her eyes shining with excitement. "The Tisa are developing a device to amplify their mind control, but I believe we can create a countermeasure." Alex leaned forward. "What do you need?" "Time and resources," replied Elena. "We need specific materials that we can find in one of the nearby systems. With that, we can develop a technology that not only blocks mind control but also turns it against the Tisa." Lyra nodded. "We'll send a team to get those materials. It's risky, but it's worth it." Meanwhile, Alex and Lyra began planning the direct attack on the Tisa headquarters. "We need a strategy that catches them by surprise," said Alex. "They can't expect such a bold attack." Lyra pointed to the holographic map. "We know the headquarters location. If we can disable the main defenses and use Elena's technology, we might have a real chance." In the following days, the colony was a hive of activity. Reconnaissance groups were sent to collect the necessary materials, while combat forces trained tirelessly. Humans and Chirans worked side by side, their skills complementing each other harmoniously. Alex spent his nights reviewing strategies and his mornings training with the team. The pressure was intense, but he knew he couldn't show signs of weakness. He was the anchor keeping morale high. One night, Lyra found Alex in the training field, practicing alone. "You're pushing yourself too hard," she said, watching him. Alex stopped, breathing heavily. "I can't afford to fail. Everyone depends on us." Lyra approached, her eyes gentle. "You're not alone in this, Alex. We're all in this together. And we'll win together." The moment of calm between them reinforced their determination. They knew they were not just fighting for their species, but for a future where all races could live free from Tisa oppression. With the materials finally in hand, Dr. Elena Vasquez and her team worked tirelessly to develop the countermeasure. On the last day before the major offensive, she presented the finished device to Alex and Lyra. This should block the Tisa's mind control within a 1 kilometer radius, explained Elena. And it will also send a return pulse that can destabilize them temporarily. It's perfect, said Alex, holding the device. This could be what we need to turn the tide in our favor. On the morning of the attack, the combined forces of humans and Chirans gathered. Alex, Lyra, and Elena gave the final instructions, ensuring everyone was prepared for what was to come. Today, we're not just fighting for our lives, said Alex, looking at the determined faces before him. We're fighting for the future of the galaxy. Let's show the Tisa that they can't control us, that freedom always prevails. The Alliance was ready. Mutual trust and determination propelled them towards the final battle. With their strategies set and the new technology in hand, they embarked on the confrontation that would decide the fate of all. The main ship of the Alliance, Vanguard, glided silently through space, accompanied by a fleet of smaller ships. The Tisa headquarters, a massive fortified complex on the planet Arcus Prime, was in sight. The tension was palpable as Alex, Lyra, and Elena prepared for the final battle. Approaching the attack zone, announced Sarah through the communicator. All units in position. Alex turned to Lyra. Remember, we need to disable the main defenses before we can deploy Elena's countermeasure. You lead the infiltration team. Lyra nodded, adjusting her camouflage. We're ready. The infiltration team, composed of Chirans and humans, was launched in landing pods, landing smoothly on Arcus Prime's surface. Moving quickly, they sneaked through the external defenses, disabling sensors and cameras with surgical precision. Infiltration team in position, whispered Lyra through the communicator. Disabling defenses now. Meanwhile, on the Vanguard, Alex monitored the operation. Defenses disabled, reported Lyra. Ready for Phase 2. Understood, replied Alex. Initiate the attack. The Alliance ships advanced, launching a barrage of shots at the Tisa headquarters. The external defenses, now compromised, could not respond adequately. The Tisa, caught by surprise, began mobilizing their internal forces. Alex led the first wave of ground troops, landing in designated attack zones. The battle on the ground was intense. The Tisa, though surprised, fought fiercely to protect their headquarters. Inside the complex, Lyra and her team advanced towards the control core. We're almost there, she said, disabling another security panel. The control room should be just ahead. Upon reaching the control core, they faced heavy resistance. The Tisa were determined to protect their base, but the Chiron's stealth skills and the humans' precision prevailed. With a combined effort, they managed to take the control room. Main control secured, reported Lyra. Ready to deploy the countermeasure. Back on the battlefield, Alex and Elena joined Lyra in the control room. Elena quickly configured the device, activating it. A pulse of energy spread through the complex, blocking the Tisa's mind control and sending feedback that temporarily disoriented them. Now, shouted Alex. Attack with everything we've got. The Alliance forces, encouraged by the device's effect, advanced with renewed vigor. The Tisa, confused and disorganized, began to lose ground. The battle reached its climax when Alex and Lyra faced Commander Tezhan directly. You are persistent, said Tezhan, his voice full of disdain. But you cannot win. We'll see about that, replied Alex, advancing with his weapon. The fight was fierce. Tezhan, using his mind control abilities, tried to manipulate Alex and Lyra, but the countermeasure protected them. Utilizing their combined strength and skills, Alex and Lyra managed to disarm and subdue Tezhan. With the commander's fall, the Tisa forces lost their coordination. The Alliance troops quickly took full control of the headquarters. Victory was finally within reach. Alex looked around, seeing his allies celebrating. We did it, he said, exhausted but triumphant. The galaxy is ours again. Lyra smiled, feeling a wave of relief and hope. This is just the beginning, Alex. Now, we need to ensure this freedom is lasting. The battle was won, but the war for reconstruction and maintaining peace had only just begun. However, with the alliance between humans and Chirans, there was hope for a better future for all species in the galaxy. The rising sun over Arcus Prime illuminated the ruins of the Tisa headquarters. The Alliance forces, exhausted but victorious, began consolidating their position. The atmosphere, filled with smoke and dust, slowly calmed, giving way to a reverent silence. In the command center now under the Alliance's control, Alex, Lyra, and Elena gathered to discuss the next steps. "We won the battle, but the war for reconstruction is just beginning," said Alex, looking at the determined faces around him. "We need to stabilize the systems that were under Tisa control," suggested Lyra. "Ensure there is no remaining resistance and help the subjugated species to rebuild." Elena agreed. "Additionally, we must share the countermeasure technology with other allied systems. We need to ensure that no one else can be controlled by the Tisa." As they began planning the reconstruction, an urgent transmission arrived. It was a call for help from one of the recently liberated systems. Without hesitation, Alex organized a rapid response team. "Let's go, Lyra," said Alex as they prepared to depart. "Our work is far from over." Upon arriving in the system, they found a civilization struggling to reorganize after years of Tisa control. The Alliance offered humanitarian and technological aid, helping stabilize the planet and restore order. In the following weeks, Alex and Lyra traveled from system to system, providing assistance and overseeing reconstruction. Trust between humans and Chirans grew even more, and other species began joining the Alliance, forming an intergalactic coalition of resistance and cooperation. One night, on one of the recovered planets, Alex and Lyra met on a hill, observing the city lights below. "Look at this," said Alex, with a satisfied smile. "It's incredible to see how things are changing." Lyra nodded, her gaze reflecting hope. "I never thought I would see something like this in my lifetime. We're creating something truly special." "Yes, we are," replied Alex, holding Lyra's hand. "And together, we can ensure this freedom lasts forever." The Alliance continued to grow and strengthen, facing new challenges with courage and determination. The technology developed by Elena was widely shared, ensuring that the Tisa or any similar threat could never again subjugate the galaxy. In the end, Alex, Lyra, and Elena became respected and inspiring leaders. Under their leadership, the galaxy entered a new era of peace and cooperation, where different species worked together for a better future. The victory over the Tisa marked the beginning of an era of reconstruction and renewal. The impact of the conflict and the unlikely alliance between humans and Chirans was felt throughout the galaxy, creating a lasting legacy of freedom and hope. As they looked at the horizon, Alex and Lyra knew that, although the road ahead still had challenges, the strength of unity and determination would always prevail. And with that, the galaxy was finally free to thrive in peace.